Good evening, everyone. Welcome into this week's all-new edition of the Milford Informer. I am Tim Coet. I'm back after a very special week off last week, spent getting married to my beautiful bride, Laura. I am happy to be back now to bring you the latest here in the Milford community. Let's get things started by taking a look at this week's top stories rundown. Tonight, hear from Citizens for Milford spokesperson Amy Sanborn as she invites members of the community to turn out for this weekend's 4th annual Milford Beautification Day. Also tonight, we'll take you inside this week's Board of Selectmen meeting to hear how the Milford Girl Scouts are working with the town on a special Arbor Day Initiative. And later in sports, we have our first highlights of the 2018 spring sports season, including softball highlights against Hopkinton and Foxborough, and our first ever boys lacrosse highlights. This weekend, the Citizens for Milford are holding an event that has become an annual springtime staple geared towards sprucing up the community for the warm weather months ahead. For more information on the event, I sat down with CFM spokesperson Amy Sanborn. And we are very happy to be joined on the Milford Informer this week by a representative from the Citizens for Milford. Amy Sanborn joins us this week. Amy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, of course, the reason we have you here this week, another big event for the CFM coming up this weekend. It is now the 4th annual Milford Beautification Day. It's just been such a great event that you guys have been hosting for the last several years. Before we talk about the particulars for this year's event, just kind of take me through the previous years and just sort of how this event has evolved for the CFM.
It first started just basically me picking up trash around my neighborhood and saying we all decided what we wanted to do as a project. And this was the one that I took on. So I'm the chairperson of this project, and this is our 4th one. And every year, more and more people come. It's a great turnout. People just pick up trash in all various neighborhoods, parking lots around town, and the town looks just better, just so much better.
Absolutely. It's such a nice idea, such a great opportunity for people to get a little community involvement, some community service, and really at a time where now we're finally starting to experience some spring weather. What better opportunity for people to get out and just kind of help pick things up and make Milford look beautiful for the spring and summer months.
And with now all the snow being gone, now you're finding all the trash
of course,
and the wind, and there's a lot of trash out there. So there's a lot to be done this Saturday.
So now the last couple of years, you guys have been doing this event in partnership with the Milford Upper Charles Trail. How's that partnership gone for you guys?
That's great. That's great. We work with them, and you know, they have people that come out and want to clean up the trail specifically, and we just help each other out. It's all about the community.
So now walk us through what a typical Milford Beautification Day includes. What time does everyone gather together? What are sort of the different projects, the different materials there? Walk us through the day.
Republic Services donates the gloves, vests, and bags that we will be using. We meet at the parking lot across the street from Sacred Heart Church at 9 o'clock. It's from 9 to 1. And basically you just come, pick up your supplies, and then you can head out. If there's somewhere specific you want to go, you can do that. Or if you want us to guide you, we can tell you an area that definitely needs to be cleaned up.
Are there any areas in particular that the Citizens for Milford pinpoint as key areas to work on?
We do the Main Street, the parking lots behind Music Nook, Manhattan's, and Morin Studio, Water Street, and just in general over by the 495 ramps on 109 and 85. Those are really bad. But basically what you'll do is you'll pick up your supplies, and then once you've filled a bag, you'll call my cell phone number and just tell us where you left the bag, and we will come and pick it up.
That's great. And so again, just to give all the particular information, it's coming up this weekend on April 28th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I know you mentioned it already, Amy, but where can everyone meet up to start the day?
They meet up at the parking lot across the street from Sacred Heart Church on Route 16.
And that's when everyone can gather supplies. What sort of supplies can people expect to grab there?
We have gloves, we have vests, and we also have bags. And all, as I said, donated by Republic Services, and with the cooperation of the Board of Health. They got us the supplies, and then they'll have the transfer station open. So when we have 3 trucks delivering all this trash, they will take the trash for us. there at the transfer station.
That's great, and again, just a great community service opportunity, and I know in the past you've had some kids groups, some youth organizations, different groups coming with a lot of people all at once to help get this job done. So that can certainly help the effort, and we encourage everyone out there, and I'm sure you do as well. If you have a group that's looking for something to do this weekend, this is really a great opportunity.
It is a great opportunity. We have Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. We've had different religious groups come and they want to put in some community service. So that's been great. I just want to let you know that on Thursday and Friday of this week, we have inmates from the Worcester County Sheriff's Department, again coming out. This is the 4th year, and they come out Thursday and Friday and they clean up. We usually have them sent out to like Dilla and Route 85, some of the busier streets, and they can pick up in one day 100 bags of trash. So I just want to thank them for their help too.
Well, that's excellent. So again, Milford Beautification Day. It's coming up this Saturday, April 28th. It is rain or shine, but we do expect to have some nice spring weather there on Saturday. So that will be great to come out. So that'll be going on from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can meet in the parking lot across from St. Mary's Church, Sacred Heart Church, excuse me, for to meet up to grab supplies, and then everybody will be ready to go. And again, large groups are welcome. Folks, if they want to let you guys know ahead of time that they're planning on coming down, they can do that?
They can do that. They can go on to Citizens for Milford Facebook, but they don't have to. They can just show up and we will give them the supplies that they need.
Excellent. So you can just show up. You can let the CFM know ahead of time, but we certainly encourage everybody to come down. It's such a wonderful event, and with some great weather and the spring and summer months coming up, it's a very good opportunity for everyone to get out there and help clean up the community ahead of some fun warm weather that we can all enjoy coming up. So we look forward to that. We look forward to hearing about how the event goes, as this is the 4th annual Milford Beautification Day and should be the best one yet. So Amy Sanborn, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck this weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
For those who may not know, today is Arbor Day. Earlier this week, the Milford Girl Scouts visited the Board of Selectmen to discuss a special Arbor Day project. Let's listen in as the Girl Scouts discussed the matter with the board.
The first order of business we have tonight is we have Girl Scouts with us. So, and Mrs. Wheelock, you're on.
All right, great. Thanks for having us tonight. This is Cadet Girl Scout Troop 11276. Many of the girls in this troop are in 6th and 7th grade, and they've been involved with Girl Scouting since they were in kindergarten. So it's been a little while. And 8th year, 7th, 8th year, right? And we are here tonight for an official proclamation to celebrate Arbor Day. April 27th is Arbor Day every year, and it's the first step for a big project, a long-term project for the troop. We're working with Mr. Renault, the tree warden. First step is to have the proclamation to recognize April 27th as Arbor Day in Milford. Second step is a big service project on Saturday. We're giving away over 300 tree seedlings to celebrate Arbor Day and to help the community to get free trees so they can put them in their property. And the third step is to work together to help Milford become a member of Tree City USA.
It's our third step in our Breathe journey, which is about cleaner air and learning about the pollution that we cause and how trees, plants, things with leaves can help them there.
Chuck Renault, I'm sorry.
Mr. Renault's here too.
No, I just want to say thank you to the board and thank you very much
Come on right up here, Chuck.
to the girls for all the help. It's been interesting, and we're going to work in the future with them to get more trees planted in town. And I think it will be very helpful to the town.
The Commonwealth of Massachusetts celebrates Arbor Day on the last Friday in April of each year. And on April 27, 2018, Massachusetts will observe another Arbor Day, giving its citizens an opportunity to plant trees and celebrate the gifts that community trees give all year long. The town of Milford recommends itself to its community streetscapes and forest and seeks to become a better steward of its community trees. Milford establishes trees as a priority for the town and will endeavor to make good decisions about their care and management. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, Michael K. Walsh, William D. Buckley, and William E. Kincaid, Jr., as selectmen of the town of Milford, Massachusetts, proclaim Arbor Day, April 27, 2018, to be a day of celebration in our town. On this day, we shall be thoughtful of the roles trees play in improving the quality of our neighborhoods, streets, yards, and lives, and shall respect our trees as a great natural resource and contributes to the cycle of life. In witness, we hereby set our hands and cause the seal of the town of Milford to be affixed this 23rd day of April in the year of our Lord, 2018. Michael K. Walsh, Chairman of the Board of Selectmen, William D. Buckley, Board of Selectmen, and William E. Kincaid, Board of Selectmen.
It took a little while longer than we thought, but over the last 2 weeks, our Milford TV cameras have finally gotten the chance to head outside to begin coverage of the spring sports season. Last week, Executive Director Rob O'Keefe and MHS student Neelan Reisman were on the call for our first coverage of the defending D1 state champion Milford softball team as they took on a neighboring rival. Let's check out the highlights. The Milford softball team finally had a chance to enjoy their 2018 home opener back on April 18th. The game would feature a rematch of last year's Division I South semifinal, with the Hopkinton Lady Hillers coming to town. Milford's offense would go to work immediately in the first inning. Kate Irwin would lead off the frame with a hard hit ball back up the middle that would go as a double. Kate would then steal third on a pitch in the dirt and would quickly come around to score on an infield single by Emily Pierre-Gustavo. After that, Jess Tommaso would step to the plate looking to continue to build the early lead.
It's usually what she does, Neelan. She is the cleanup hitter for a reason. And she hits one way back, and that is gone. That was very impressive. That pitch was very much inside and down, and she still took that yard. That is a home run for Jess Tommaso.
Milford would score 2 more runs before the inning came to an end thanks to this hard hit ball down the left field line by Kelly Reichert, and after just 1 inning of play, the Lady Hawks would find themselves ahead by a score of 5-0. After the girls tacked on a single run in the third, they were ready to do some more serious offensive damage in the fourth.
Also hit for power when she needs to, and there she displays it there as that goes right into the center gap. And she's going to move into second, and home comes Karan. And once again, a low pitch, and she keeps it from rolling away. It's in the dirt, but that's a walk, and that's another run. It's 8-0.
On her way to first, and she's going to hit that right through the gap of left field. McCluskey throwing it into shortstop, wheeling, looking, and that's going to score 2 runs.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Milford's pitching was able to hold the Hiller bats in check for the majority of the afternoon. Kelly Reichert would get the start. Kelly would allow a leadoff base runner in the top of the first, but she'd finish off the inning with back-to-back Ks to prevent the run from scoring. Hopkinton would get a runner to third base with 2 outs in the second, but again Reichert was able to pitch her way out of trouble. And again in the third, the Lady Hillers would put a pair in scoring position, but Milford's senior captain would induce a harmless fly ball to center field to again deny the visitors a scoring opportunity. After Hopkinton finally got to Reichert for 2 in the top of the 5th, the Hillers would face a fresh arm in the late innings with Jess Tommaso stepping into the circle. Jess would show an impressive arsenal of pitches over the final 2 innings of the game. Here she strikes out Heather Sevo as part of a scoreless 6th inning. Then watch as this pitch darts out of the strike zone, eluding the bat of Tara Kester in the 7th. Jess would finish off a quick and easy 1-2-3 7th inning with this weak grounder off the bat of Emma Murphy, and that would be that. Once again, it was Milford getting the better of this neighboring non-conference rivalry as they defeat the Hopkinton Lady Hillers by a final score of 11-2. This Monday, the girls were back on their home field in much more spring-like conditions to take on Davenport Division rival Foxborough. I was happy to be back on the call for that game. Once again, let's head to the highlights. After cold and damp weather dominated the early weeks of the spring season, the sunshine was a welcome sight to the Milford softball team on Monday as the undefeated Lady Hawks welcomed in the 3-1 Foxborough Lady Warriors. After Milford starter Kelly Reichert pitched around an error in the top of the first inning, the Milford Bats would come to the plate facing off against the Lady Warriors' Emma Rohan. Rohan's command would not be sharp to begin her outing as she would walk Kate Irwin on just 4 pitches. That would put a runner aboard ahead of reigning Hockomock League MVP Emily Pierre-Gustavo.
Ball, 2 strikes, no outs. And the pitch is delivered high in the air to left field and deep back towards the fence, and that ball is gone. Not much doubt for that one. A line shot quickly sneaking over the left field fence, and 2 batters into this game, Emily Pierre-Gustavo gives Milford a 2-0 lead.
Milford would continue to have success in the inning. Jess Tomaso would follow up the homer with an opposite field double, and the Lady Hawks would eventually load the bases with 2 down, but Rohan would induce a ground ball off the bat of Sabrina Harstick, and Milford would have to settle for 2 in the inning. Over their previous 3 games, Milford had scored a combined 25 runs in just the second inning alone. That trend of second inning offense would continue into this game as well.
Award for Emily Pierre-Gustavo, who gave Milford the 2-0 lead they currently possess, courtesy of a long ball last inning. Now drives one out to center field. In at first was Kelly McCarthy. She misjudges it. It gets over her head to the fence. 1 run in as Bonina scores. Kate Irwin flying around right behind, and it's a 2-run double for Emily Pierre-Gustavo. She doubles her RBI total on the day and doubles the Milford lead now to 4-0 over Foxborough. Hartman, as we mentioned, came into the game today as the team's best average hitter, and she sends this one in the air out to left field. That's going to continue to drift. Will it stay fair? It does. It hits off the foul pole, and that is good for a 2-run home run for Hartman. That breeze continuing to twist around out there. Hartman hitting it up into the breeze, and it ended up taking it right off of the foul pole. And now this one hit hard through the left side of the infield for a base hit. That will bring Cormier to the plate. Here comes Karen right behind. She will score without a throw. It's an RBI 2-run single for Sabrina Harstick, and you can make it an 8-0 Milford lead. And now we'll loop this one out to left field. That will drop in for a hit. Maddie Bonvino touches third base. She will come around to score. And now hits one hard straight back up the middle, through for a base hit. Bonina will come around to score. They will hold Kate Irwin at third base. An RBI single for Emily Pierre-Gustavo, and there is the 10th run of the game for Milford.
Milford would hang an 8th spot on the scoreboard, upping their second inning run total to 33 over their last 4 games. Meanwhile, Kelly Reichert would keep things under control in the circle. She would collect back-to-back strikeouts as part of a scoreless second inning. Reichert would run into a little bit of trouble in the third, eventually allowing an RBI single to Morgan Sylvester, but Kelly would bounce back and would eventually strike out the side in the inning. The score would remain 10-1 until the bottom of the 4th. Emma Rohan would get 2 quick outs in the inning, but back-to-back singles by Tomaso and Hartman would set the table for another Milford rally.
Cormier taking a swing at this one, sending it out into center field. A diving attempt by McCarthy, but she cannot come up with it. Tomaso will come around to score. Swain will come all the way around from first base. She will touch the plate. The next pitch, this one hit in the air out to center field. McCarthy racing back. That's going to get over her head. It just barely stays on the field. Takes a hop off the fence, and it will go as an RBI double for Kelly as Shannon Cormier crosses the plate.
Milford would take a 12-run lead into the 5th inning, meaning Foxborough would need to rally for at least a run if the game was to continue. As it turned out, Foxborough would have their best offensive inning of the day, plating 1 run on an error and 2 more off this RBI single from Lexi Buckner, and Foxborough would cut the deficit down to 9. Fast forward to the bottom of the 6th. Relief pitcher Cameron Willis was able to completely shut Milford down in her first inning of work, but Coach DeVito's team would make some adjustments in the 6th.
With a double her last time up, now sends one deep out to center field. That is going to make its way all the way to the fence. Carly Ferreira scores. Karen flying around the bases. She will come in to score as well. A 2-run double for Kelly Reichert. And now Harstick gets into this ball, sends it out to center field deep over the head of Kelly McCarthy. Here comes Winktus around from second base. She will touch home. And that will be Milford's 16th run of the game. It will establish a 12-run lead after the 5th inning, and so that will serve as the final play of this afternoon's contest.
It would be the 3rd straight Mercy Rule win for Milford and their 7th straight victory overall on the season. Milford takes down Foxborough by a final score of 16-4. We were expecting to see a premier Davenport Division showdown on Wednesday between Milford and North Attleboro, but heavy rains forced the game to be postponed to Thursday and eventually moved all the way to late May. We hope to have more coverage of the softball team coming up on Monday against Oliver Ames. Meanwhile, we did have a chance to cover our first ever Milford lacrosse action earlier this week. Milford boys entered the day fresh off their best win of the season, a 16-5 pounding of non-conference Northbridge back on April 18th. The boys would face another out-of-conference foe on this day in the Hopedale Blue Raiders. Hopedale was very quick to showcase their speed and skill, notching their first goal less than 3 minutes in. Hopedale would notch 5 goals in the first quarter, which included a score off this pretty sequence here with the behind-the-back pass leading to a wide-open look on net. Milford was eventually able to get on the board midway through the second quarter, with Josh Lagore taking matters into his own hands, ranging from behind the net and shooting it past the goaltender's stick. The only other bright spot on the day for Milford came with just over 4 minutes left in the third, as Ryan Hazard was able to split a pair of defenders before whistling a shot home. But the day would belong to the red-hot offense of the Blue Raiders, as they went on to defeat the Hawks by a final score of 13-2. The boys lacrosse team now finds themselves 2 games under 500 at 2-4. Meanwhile, it's been a tough stretch of the season so far for Milford tennis and girls lacrosse. Both the boys and girls tennis teams find themselves with matching 0-7 records, while the girls lacrosse team is looking to break out of an 8-game losing streak to open the year. It's been a much better start to the season for Milford's outdoor track teams. Both the boys and girls captured victories in each of their first 2 matches of the season, with those wins coming against Stoughton and Canton. With all of the early season rainouts, it's going to be a jam-packed sports schedule in the month of May, and we will continue to keep you updated on all of the teams each week here on The Informer. We also invite you to watch all of our full game coverage over on our educational channel as well as on YouTube. And now let's get to this week's upcoming events. Here's one more reminder that coming up on Saturday, the Citizens for Milford will be hosting their 4th annual Milford Beautification Day. Each year, this event has brought Milford residents together to help clean up the streets of their community. This year's Beautification Day is taking place on Saturday, April 28th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Community members interested in participating can meet up with representatives from the CFM in the parking lot across from Sacred Heart Church anytime between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. to receive supplies and information. Again, Milford Beautification Day is taking place on Saturday, April 28th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. For more information, log on to citizensformilford.com. Coming up on Tuesday, join the Milford Parents for Music as they host a pizza tasting night. This fundraising event will give participants a chance to sample pizza from all of the best spots around Milford. Awards will be presented at the end of the night for Best Pizza, Best Sauce, Best Crust, and Best Gluten-Free Option. There will also be a chance to win raffle prizes during the night as well. This fun and tasty event is taking place on Tuesday, May 1st, over at the Milford High School cafeteria from 5:30 to 8 p.m. All proceeds from the event will support music scholarships. For more information, log on to Facebook and search Milford Parents for Music. And coming up on Thursday, join students from the Milford Hospitality and Tourism Management Program as they help host the grand reopening of the Milford Courtyard Marriott. The HTM students were instrumental in the hotel's renovation project during their internship hours this past school year. The grand reopening will feature a beautiful tropical theme with music, food, and drinks. The Courtyard Marriott grand reopening is taking place on Thursday, May 3rd, over at their location on 10 Fortune Boulevard from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. We've got plenty of community updates planned for next week's show. We'll take a look back at the recently held Best Buddies Sweetheart Pageant, and we will also recap a special VFW War Veterans ceremony being held this weekend. As always, we will hope you will join us next week. Until then, from all of us here at Milford TV, this is Tim Coet saying have a great week. So long, everybody.